I said, there's something different about this child. Have y'all ever heard the phrase, she's been here before? That's Emma.
They think that when you get old, you can't do kid stuff like color or play outside.
Because we're too busy doing what as adults? Working.
If you have an idea, do it, and if you have more, do it. Just keep on doing what you want to do. They forget that there's so many possibilities, and they just dream and they don't do it because they're afraid of what people are gonna think of it.
So she's saying, I have evidence that I am that girl, that I am a phenomenal artist, and yet I still doubt myself. Do y'all have evidence that you are that girl and you still doubt yourself?
People shouldn't feel bad about themselves and get put down. They should feel like they're amazing.
I am a miracle. I dream without limits. Believe, period.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power. Discover your truth, discern your path, determine your power. I'm Dr. Amber Sessoms, and together, let's unlock our power, build authentic connections, and foster collective liberation.
Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power, and today we are going to be talking about our live podcast. And we're going to be talking about the energy that the kids had. Well, not really kids, teenagers. And basically they loved us and they had so much energy. As you could hear them screaming when we said something, and they just had a lot of energy. But we didn't do some of the questions, so let me just talk about them. So we had some of the questions that my mom was gonna ask me, and it was, what do you dream of becoming? And I'm gonna answer that. I dream of becoming a fashion designer because I want to be like my grandma, Kia. And there's another question. Have you ever stopped yourself from dreaming big? And the answer is no, because I have so many dreams built up in my brain that I just can't stop. And I'm gonna do 4 more. How do you know when someone is cheering for you for your dreams versus trying to control it? And I feel like there is like a certain way of cheering someone's dream and controlling it. And controlling your dream is like making it your own and being like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You should try something else. Like maybe like if you're thinking about like a drawing, like maybe you should have like a rainbow in the back, or maybe you should have clouds or a unicorn or stuff. And then cheering on your dream is like, that's really good, but maybe you should add something, but it's your choice. And the second one is, what do you do when someone doesn't believe in your dream? What I do is say, that's fine, but I'm going to keep on doing it. And the last 2 are, what does it feel like in your body when you're getting closer to a dream coming true. It feels like ants crawling up my spine, and I'm like, yay! And then the last one is, what would you design or build if no one could say no? I would make my own dress. Bye, guys.
Go, Emma! Can I just say that I love the energy because you are giving her so much love at 10. I heard y'all say 10. Yes, she is 10. She's double digits. She's doing her thing. So I'm so proud of her, of course, as her mama. And we're just going to do a sound check, see if we're good. Emma, you going to do a mic check? 1, 2, 1, 2. She'll talk at some point, right? It is so, as Ms. Mondel said, this is going to be live. So we are recording this because we drop a podcast every Wednesday. So if you tune in, and there'll be a link so you can see that, you'll be able to hear your cheers, maybe some of your questions and your engagement on the podcast. So I love that you are kind of coming into our living room of sorts as we film. So you'll be coming into that to see us. And I think I just need a clicker. Is it over here? Grab the clicker quick. Oh, you have Ms. Mondel. Thank you. So if you see the topic here, the freedom to dream, Ms. Mondel picked an awesome theme because we had a podcast episode and we talked about freedom dreaming. So we're going to talk about what that means and talk about what it looks like to dream without limits. And because my tech is not working, I might have to look behind me, but thankfully I put it on the screen. But something that Emma and I have talked about is the idea, and Ms. Mondel even spoke this life into her, is that she can see what one day. What's the dream that we have together, Emma?
That I'm going to take over the podcast and we can do it together.
And you can interview who you want to interview and all the things. So Emma is learning to get her interview chops. And the dream is that she can eventually take this on herself. I remember when she was little, maybe about 2, you had to do, maybe it was a Christmas concert. And our other 2 girls, we have 3 girls, 22, almost 16, and 10. And when Emma got up on the stage, Emma was waving at everybody, so different than her other sister. And I said, there's something different about this child. Have y'all ever heard the phrase, she's been here before, you've been here before? That's Emma. So Emma is named after my grandmother, my mother who raised me, Emma, and she definitely embodies that kind of older spirit of the ancestors and all the things. She's really wise. So she was nervous about speaking to y'all because you're so much older than her, but I told her that wisdom has no age. And you, right? As a school psychologist, I learned so much from youth, and that's where y'all keep me fresh, y'all keep me young. I'm probably not using the right terms, though. Emma will talk about that. She's already telling me I'm not using the right terms. But something, we do have that vision because I believe that you are the leaders now, not in the future, and it's our job as the old heads to make sure that we give you voice and you can be heard. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So, something I just want to turn to, I want to give Emma some time just to introduce herself. Y'all don't need to know anything about me. But just, Emma, give them a little information about you, your age, your grade, and 3 fun facts.
I am 10 years old, and I am in 4th grade. And 3 fun facts about me is I love arts and crafts and coloring, and another one is that I love my dogs.
Oh, she loves them to death.
I always love them.
She is very into art, and I thought she was going to say fashion because she was serious about what she wanted to wear today, y'all. Y'all see this fit? She said, I said, what do you want to wear? She's like, I want to wear a suit and tie. I'm like, okay. You gave me some work to do. Where am I going to find a suit and tie? But we made it work. She does love her ties, but she's very into fashion. And we talk about what makes you come alive. So if you think about the things in your life that you get excited about, that you want to do every day, those things that make you come alive, that give you energy, are the things that you really need to lean into and get curious about, because that is more of what the world needs. So think about what inspires you, what encourages you, what you love to do every day. We need that version of you. All right. So let's see here. So the reason why Ms. Vondel invited us in, because we talked about this on the podcast, and I asked Emma, do you think adults struggle with dreaming and imagination? And what do you remember what you said?
Yes.
Why?
Because they think that when you get old, you can't like do kid stuff like color or play outside or like play with stuffed animals.
Because we're too busy doing what as adults? Working. Adults relate to that? I just felt like a little that energy suck out the room right there when she said that. Right, we're so busy working. And I do a lot of work with adults, y'all, and one of the questions I ask them is like, what are your needs? What are the things that you need to feel like yourself? And one of the things on that list is play. And they're like, play? But I'm too busy, I gotta work. And every one of us as human beings need play in our lives. We need that lightness, we need to laugh. And what Emma was saying to us is, one, Mommy and Daddy, y'all work too much. Like, spend some time with me, I'm really fun.
Yes.
So she's helped me as an adult realize that all the things that we thought adulting was sucks that life out of us, sucks that energy out of us that is our birthright. So when she said that, it really inspired me in thinking about when I see her as a child, when I see our girls as children, when I see y'all, I think about when anyone have like little siblings or cousins, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and what do they do all the time? Not cry. They play, but they also ask a lot of questions. And what is it? Why is this? Why is that? What's this? And the game is, how can I figure out how to answer the questions so they stop asking me the questions, right? And they're really trying to get to the root to really satiate their appetite for learning. And what I say is, as an adult, I'm a perpetual toddler, right? I talk about that because I'm always asking why. My husband doesn't always like it. He's over here. Neither does my mom sometimes. I ask a lot of questions, but I'm really trying to get to the root. Do y'all ask questions? Do you have people that kind of get irritated sometimes when you ask questions? You're just trying to learn and understand. But I really was inspired by Emma because she still does, but really when she was little, she asked a lot of questions. So it really made me think, I need to continue to be curious. I needed to continue to have an imagination. So she keeps me young and spry, as Daddy says, right? So we started this, and I'm trying to think. We started this maybe January, February. I think I just came to Emma and I said, hey, do you want to talk about some things? Like we talk about it anyway, but let's just film it. And you're like, sure, let's try it. We didn't have a thorough plan. We just started filming. And I think that's the beauty of when you have an idea. Anyone here ever have an idea and they sit on it? And then you see someone else do that same thing that you thought about? You're like, man, I should have done that thing. So we just took a chance and we started something, and what's been happening is you'll see people out, Emma, and they'll say what to you?
I love your podcast.
Yeah, they'll say, I've had adults come up to her and say, oh my gosh, I shared this with my colleague. I was so inspired by that. And again, it gets away from this issue of that only the adults have the knowledge and the wisdom, instead that you have the wisdom too. I keep wanting to point back at the screen. All right, so here's what I want to make sure that we have a firm grasp of what freedom dreaming is. And it's really this concept when you think about the world that we're living in, that we've been living in, there's systems in this world, right, that kind of keep us sorted out in different categories that don't allow us to be fully ourselves. So freedom dreaming is really the ability to imagine the world as it should be, not as it currently is. And what happens is there is another scholar who talks about what systems of oppression do, those systems that kind of keep you down and keep you maybe feeling bad about yourself or who you are or how you belong in society. They make you think really small. It doesn't allow you to be expansive in your thoughts. So freedom dreaming is going against that and saying, I have this innate ability within me because whatever created you, whoever created you, that creative being is also within inside of you. So how am I not creative? Simply by just sheerly existing. So freedom dreaming is imagining a world as it should be, not as it is, and thinking about how do I do this in community. So you are in community today, and you're going to be doing this community building, freedom dreaming work, excuse me, to imagine the world as it should be. So when I think about this, and I think about the title, Emma, and you think about freedom dreaming means using your imagination to picture a better world, one where everyone is treated with love, fairness, and respect. And something that we did early on was Emma took a values assessment, and she learned what her strengths were and what your values were. And you weren't even surprised by that one, right? But think about that one, fairness and love. Those are two of your big ones. So when you think about your own values and what freedom dreaming is, or what it means to dream without limits, what comes up for you? What are you thinking?
If you have an idea, do it, and if you have more, do it. Just keep on doing what you want to do.
Keep on doing what you would. But when you have people that say, girls, get your head out the clouds and get back to this math, this science. We gotta do that too though, y'all. What do you say to that? Like, how do you find time to dream when you have all these responsibilities in school? Maybe all these responsibilities at home or in your community. How do you find time to do what you love? How do you find time to do it?
After I'm done working.
After you're done working. So I feel like you come home, and what do you do? What's one of the things that you come home, you kind of have to decompress through the day, you go to your room, you might draw on your iPad. Emma loves to do digital illustration. So she got that from Daddy. Daddy's a graphic designer, so she definitely has that art bug from him. But you have to make time. And I love that what she's saying is that you have to do it and keep doing it, because we have so many ideas. I'm one of those people. I'll have a lot of ideas, and then I sit on them. Or I'll say, oh, I can't do that. That seems too outlandish. That seems too far-fetched. Or I don't have the time. And what she's saying, we make time for the things that we love. We make time for our family, but we also have to make time for ourselves and what makes us and inspires us, because it's going to make us better people. The clicker, y'all. Okay, so what we do on the podcast, Ms. Bondo kind of alluded to, is I have a 3D Power Tools framework. And we're going to give you an example of what that looks like in real time. And what we do is we talk through these questions. I call them curiosity cards. And we just ask each other questions and just see where it goes. Sometimes Emma plays me, y'all. The one episode, I asked her, I was talking about Maya Angelou, and she talked about when you greet your kids, meet them with kindness. It was Toni Morrison. And I said, and then Michelle Obama was talking about it. And she said when she saw her girls in the morning, before she said, oh, good morning, she'd be like, well, your clothes are wrinkled or you're ashy. And she goes, you do that. So I wouldn't even, so when Emma's getting ready, I'm like, I'm too busy looking at what do you have to do instead of just saying hello. Do y'all ever have that experience where you feel like rushed and people don't really see you? They're just starting to critique you before you even start your day. So Emma's a great mirror for me. So if she plays me here, I welcome that in her too, because it's not out of disrespect. I think some adults think that when our students or our children are telling us the truth, that is disrespectful. But my job is I'm trying to be in right relationship with Emma and other people and other students. So I was at the high school level for 13 years. And if a student had to tell me something about myself, it was in love, because we built relationship, and I'm trying to be a better human being so I don't hurt other people. So I invite that in when Emma calls me in. I don't call it a calling out. She calls me in. She's calling on me to be a better mommy to her, to be a better human in this world. And the same is true for you, right? Like, we call on each other to be better in this world. You see, she already gave me a look, though. She already gave me a look. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask Emma a question. I'm trying to be mindful of time here, because I know y'all got so much to do today. But what do you think grown-ups forget about dreaming, Emma? What do you think?
They forget that there's so many possibilities, and they just dream and they don't do it.
Why do you think they don't do it?
Because they're afraid of what people are gonna think of it.
So you think even as an adult, because I would think that would be really true of children though, right? That we're so worried as kids about what other people think about us. But what she's saying is also true, is guess what? Adults feel the same way. It never stops. You're constantly trying to find places that you belong. And something that Maya Angelou says, like, you belong any place you want to be. Mm-hmm. But I think we think, right, we're trying to fit in, and when we try to fit in, Even I was trying to fit in with Emma this morning. I was like, I tried the tie on, and I was like, that tie's not working for me. She can pull it off. I'm just gonna be me. I'll do a little bit. I work my chucks like her, but I had to do my own style of it. But I do love a good suit, y'all. So we're giving some black dandy today from the Met Gala, if y'all watched any of that. But that's the thing, it's about showing up and being yourself, right, Emma? So what else do you have to say about grown-ups forget the dream? And I think what I love what you said is possibilities. Because dreaming is about possibilities. In the work that I do, we'll always name problems. We focus so much on what's wrong. And what she is trying to get us to shift to is possibility, is opportunity. So y'all are really keenly aware at this age. What are you, Zoomers? You're in that, is this Alpha or Gen Z? Like you're in between? No, you're not. You're Alpha? Are y'all all Alpha generation?
Gen Z.
Excuse me. Let me know.
Gen X.
Gen X?
Gen X.
Okay, I'm a geriatric millennial. I'm the old millennial. I started off my generation, so I'm way behind y'all. I was born in the 1900s. Excuse me.
Gen X.
Gen X. So you're Gen
Z.
Gen Z. Emma's Alpha generation.
The best generation.
Oh, see. Give us.
It is.
But what I'll say about the younger generation, what y'all do is you give us permission to challenge, to question in a world that tells us that we have to be quote unquote professional, that we have to play the game to fit in. And what you're doing is you see the systems, you see the world, and you're able to call that out. And that's a power and a superpower that you have, that you are already asking for better from this world. And I don't ever want you to lose that, because something happens as you get older, as you get more professional. Sometimes you stop making those demands on the world that I need the world to show up better, that I need y'all to be better for the next generation. Y'all younger generations. Even I'm old head, but that's okay. So Emma has a question for me though. So what do you think, Emma? We're gonna go, because I wanna make sure we're mindful of time. I'm actually gonna ask you another one. So discovery really was about thinking about all these narratives we have in our lives about where we fit in, where we don't fit in, and saying that's all lies. How do we get to the truth of who we are? So thinking about that, I want to ask Emma another question about discernment is really understanding the truth of who you are. So again, I said Emma did those values assessments. She's big on fairness. She does not like when things are unfair. Any fairness people in the room? Something's unfair, that was me in school. So Emma's very much like me. If something was going on in school, I'm the first one to say, that's unfair, we need to fix it, right? Emma's big on, what's your other one? Love? Love in the room, love's a big one for you, you value love? What is another one that you have? Love, fairness. Bravery. Brave people in the building? That you're unafraid to say the thing, or you do it with fear because you know it's right. Those are one of my biggest things is curiosity. So I get really curious about things. But for Emma, what I want to ask you is, what helps you stay connected to your imagination when life feels really overwhelming?
Usually when I'm doing homework, I get stressed because I forget to do it sometimes.
That's true. I mean, it is, it's fine.
It is so. And I usually picture something I like ice cream.
Ice cream. So you picture that in your imagination, and where do you go then? What does that help you to do?
My brain. I relax and do belly breathes.
So Emma's saying that she's doing mindfulness. Do any of y'all do that in school? Practice mindfulness, social emotional learning? So when she was little, what she said was belly breathing. So really a lot of those breaths from your gut, because what you'll find is, do you notice if you're stressed, you're taking really short breaths, or you're not really breathing deeply? Or maybe you have your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or your jaws clenched, your shoulders are high. You have to start realizing where it is in your body. And Emma's done a pretty good job. Where do you feel like the stress is in your body? Where does it sit in your body? Your shoulders. So do your shoulders up high? Your shoulders are really tense. Anyone carry it in their shoulders? Stress in your shoulders? Not in your shoulders, so where do you carry? I carry mine a lot in my chest. So my heart will sometimes feel like a hamster wheel. You have that feeling? right? But that's what your body's letting you know. So your body is one of your greatest teachers. So what Emma's inviting us to do is, when we're feeling overwhelmed, is to try to self-soothe or calm our bodies. So one of the ways to do that is belly breathing. And what else do you do?
And when I feel stressed, I clench my hands like this.
So when you're feeling stressed, you clench your hands. Are you doing, so that's another way to tell your body that you're stressed or know that you're stressed. So one of the things that we also sometimes do is we do release. So sometimes you'll tense your body up and then you release that. Have you ever done that? You'll tense up and you release. That's a way that you're training your body to know what it means to relax. So, but you have to first know the things that are stressful to you and where it shows up in your body. So that's really important. So that's what Emma does when she feels overwhelmed. I actually have some fidgets in my bag. Do any of y'all like fidgets? Have different fidgets? Any of y'all have any fidgets right now? Or you'll make a fidget, right? So those are things that help you stay calm, stay present. I think they're really important. So those things for yourself, I see some fidgets up there. Those are really important things. So what do you think, Emma? You want to ask me a question? You have your paper?
What are some of the voices that make you doubt your dreams?
Oh, I already heard a right? The first thing that came to mind, a voice that makes me doubt my dreams, is that, and I've heard Oprah say this, so it doesn't feel like I'm completely out of line, because if Oprah even thinks this, but she will say, "Who do you think you are?" I've had that, that's a creeping thought when I want to do that brave thing. It's, who do you think you are? This black woman from Central PA, who do you think you are? And also that not enoughness. Does anyone have that where they feel like they're not good enough? When you feel like you're taught that oftentimes, young to old. I still struggle with that. So it's something that I learned when I was young, and I grew up in the area. I didn't grow up far from here. So Middletown, Pennsylvania, there weren't many students that looked like me. So y'all have a tremendous gift that you were able to go to school with people that look like you. I was one of very few, and I didn't feel like I belonged. And that narrative about belonging can shape how I show up, where I think I fit in or where I don't fit in. But for me, it's, who do you think you are? Or I'll have people like Miss Rolanda who will speak life and say, I have a whole thing for you when you're ready, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna sit on it for a couple more years, right? But when you have people in your life, do you have people in your life that will say, ooh, you do that awesome thing, like you're an awesome artist or you're an awesome singer, and you'll talk yourself out of it, and you say, I'm not that great, right? And that's what we do. But when you have people that speak life to you, that see something in you, they're giving you permission to own it. So what I invite you to do, if you have people that are celebrating you and seeing things in you, then sit in that and try that on and be like, you know what, maybe they're right. And maybe I am that girl. Because you are. But it starts with you believing that. But that is, for me, Emma, one of the struggles for me is thinking that, yes, it is me. If someone gives me a compliment, that I can just accept it. I don't have to deflect. I don't have to be like, oh, that's not true. I can own that. I think it's really important.
Sometimes I do that.
Say that again?
Sometimes I do that.
And what are you working on? So you do that. Why do you think you do that when someone gives you a compliment?
I don't know, because maybe I think I'm not good at art.
Even if you've gotten awards and won ribbons for art fairs, you still have that thought that creeps in? Emma has won awards in the art fair
2 times.
And
First place.
She's only entered twice, so she wins first place every time. So thinking about you have evidence now. So she's saying, I have evidence that I am that girl, that I am a phenomenal artist, and yet I still doubt myself. Do y'all have evidence that you are that girl and you still doubt yourself? But why do you think that is? Anyone have any ideas of why you think that is? Speak on that, imposter syndrome. And can I say something to the imposter syndrome though? I don't believe in it. You know what I think that actually is? We talked about freedom dreaming, and I talked about systems. There's a system in place for girls, for women, for girls and women of color that says that you're not good enough. It's a system that has led you to believe that. It's not you, but what you have done is you've internalized that because the system has made you believe that. So you have to think about, there is a whole thing in this world that has been created to keep us boxed in. So that imposter syndrome, is a lie. But we bought into it. So now the work is that you have to do some of that unlearning. And community and people that speak life into you, when you win those 2 awards, let people gas you up, and you take on that, and you look in the mirror and you say, yes, I won that, right? So Emma, this year when you win another ribbon, and even if you don't, right, are you still that girl? We think awards, these external things, are the reward, and they're not always the case. All right. So let's see. So this last phase, what we talk about is determination. And this is really the idea that once I learn about those lies and those stories that tell me that I'm an imposter and I'm not the person that should be in the room, then I learn what the truth of who I am and whose shoulders I stand on. So my ancestors, my mother, the people in my life, my community. We move on to determination. And what that means is, how are we going to show up in this world then? So we know all these things that we have to unlearn, and then we're taking on a different personality and say, I'm going to show up as me, because if I show up as me, the world's going to get all this greatness. And the minute that I keep boxing myself in, showing up as a half or a baked version or a fake version of myself, what you're doing is betraying yourself, and what you're doing is we don't get your greatness. So the moment that you can say who I am and discover who you are and love that person, that's going to shift everything. And I've seen this in real time. I'll give you an easy example is my haircut. I'm at Corso Cutting Edge Barbershop. You see that? So I get my haircut. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna embarrass my mom for a second. She don't like it. She's grown into it. She did not like it because it wasn't quote unquote professional, right? She didn't like my septum piercing because it's not professional. Because what she's doing is, as my mother and someone that cares and loves me deeply, that's her job, is to protect, right? It's to make sure that my life is not going to be harder. And what I had to realize is, if I can't show up as myself, to me, that's not safety. And part of what I learned is, yes, I have to be professional and show up in these spaces, but guess what? When I show up as myself like this, I have people that come up to me, adults come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could wear my hair that way. I didn't know I could have that piercing, and then people still take me seriously. Because I am not going to change who I am when I enter spaces. One of my friends says, and my friend Hattie's here, and she can attest to this, that she says, if this room doesn't accept me for who I am, then they don't deserve me. Right? So think about that. If I have to leave part of me at the door, if Emma can't bring her full self in this space, it's not safe, and you don't get this greatness. So how do we, as educators, as people that are supporting these students, make sure that they can show up in their fullness? Because then we're going to get the best and brightest out of them. If they have to come in and be a half-cooked version of themselves, we're not getting their greatness. And y'all can attest to that, but I will say, what I noticed in my wondering, my curiosity, I leaned in, y'all were rooting for your superintendent. And I'll tell you what, I'm in schools where people boo their superintendent. So you have a gift there that you have someone that believes in you. So how do we lean into that to make sure we create access and space for you to be your full selves? All right, so Emma, this question I want to ask you is, if your dream could change the world, even in a small way, so first you have to tell them what your dream is, what would that look like?
To end bullying and end world hunger.
And that aligns with fairness and justice is another strength, and bravery. So Emma, you want to end bullying. So start with that one. What's the problem there that you see?
People shouldn't feel bad about themselves and get put down. They should feel like they're amazing and that they can do anything.
And so have you witnessed bullying in school?
Kinda.
And what do you do when you witness it?
Say, that's mean, and stop.
So has anyone witnessed bullying in school? Yes. Is anyone like Emma, she'll intervene, she'll go up and say, that's mean, please stop? Yes. Does that make you nervous though? Are you scared to do that? No. So we have some people that share your same strength over here, Emma, and your values of bravery. But you know what? There are a lot of people that are afraid to do that. And if you're in the room and you're afraid to do that, that is okay, because I want to honor that, because you are growing up in a time that is really hard when you're getting bullied, right? When you have these phones See, I'm old now. I started off the generation of millennials. We didn't have cell phones in school. Now, y'all don't have to do me like that. We didn't have cell phones, but are you allowed to have cell phones in 7th grade in school? Oh, I heard some yeses. So wait, are someone sneaking a phone and not supposed to have a phone? But cell phones, everything's caught on video, right? So does that make it harder for some of y'all to want to step in because you're scared you're going to be the next target? No. So I think that's a really important thing. Emma's saying that's what she wants to stop because it makes people feel bad about who they are. And guess what? I see that in adulthood too. It might look different, but adults are bullied too. And that's the hard part about going through life. How do we stop that? How do we stop making people feel bad about who they are? Because they're going to pick on something about maybe your feature, maybe your skin color. That was me. You know, calling me darky or saying my hair was nappy. Things like that. Every time I say that, she can't believe that. And you know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that Emma has not had that experience because she loves her skin color and she loves her hair because...
Wait, didn't that happen in first grade?
Well, Emma can attest to. So Emma wants to share a story. So Emma did have an experience. What happened in first grade?
So I was a new student. I think it was like the 3rd day, and it was library, and this kid called me darky.
And what did you do?
I told you.
So Emma came home. We had a conversation about this boy calling her darky. And how did we solve that problem?
We talked to his parents.
And we had a meeting with the counselor and the principal. We had a whole meeting. And I remember the counselor asking you, how did it make you feel? Do you remember what you said?
Not great.
But you also said something that was really powerful to me as her mother, because a lot of times for y'all that might have children or mother or father, is that there's a part of you that looks back and says, oh, I want to give my child what I didn't always have. And what she said was, I don't know if you remember saying this, but you said, I have beautiful brown skin and I have beautiful hair. You remember saying that?
I
And I'll say, in first grade, I didn't feel that way about myself. So it really makes me happy and proud that even if someone tries to talk about Emma's skin color, she knows it is what?
Beautiful.
But it's also a lie. You can go somewhere with that. That's not true. And what happens is sometimes people bully and they're saying lies that we have to understand are not true. And that's our own work to do, that we have to speak life and say, that is untrue. That is a lie that I've been taught to believe. And Emma has learned that because I had to go through the mud and the struggle to understand that that was a lie. But I was so much older than her. But for her to realize that at 8, when she's 44 like me, now y'all supposed to say, oh my gosh, you're supposed to gasp and say, I can't believe she's 44. Y'all. Too late. You missed it was like, that's fine, whatever. Thank you. She's my favorite right there. What's your name? Trinity? She's my favorite. Y'all can try again. I'll give you another opportunity. Okay. Let me look at the time here. So what I want to say is, thinking about the question that I was going to ask was, when I think about myself and the things that I tell myself now, so just like Emma, thinking about beautiful brown skin, beautiful hair, I was told, that you're smart for a black girl, and I was like, well, where am I in the line of just smarts, period, right? But I have to tell myself and affirm myself. So I want us to engage in that practice together and affirm ourselves. So what I invite us to do is, we're gonna do this, I am the dream without limits. So if you see, we're gonna go this way to this way. You're gonna read across and go down the page. Emma and I are gonna say that first line, and then you're gonna say the second line. You got it? We're actually gonna stand up, because I wanna make sure that we can see this. You wanna get on this side, Em?
Got the hiccups.
She's growing, she got hiccups now. Do y'all still have that issue? Is it, maybe you can give her some encouragement, because maybe when you get to 7th grade, you don't have the growing hiccups anymore. She's trying to hold her breath so she doesn't keep hiccuping. So I am the dream without limits. So Emma and I are going to read that first line together. You ready, Emma? I am not too young. And I hear the power. Come on now with the powerful voices. I don't shrink to fit in. That's right. I am not just dreaming. Period. Right. I am a miracle. Wait, there's more. I think I have to get over here. Even when I doubt myself, they say I'm not enough. I dream without limits. Period. That's my period crew over there. So what I invite you to do is, here's a practice that you can do. Write your dreams out. Name those, speak those things. But what Emma and I talk about, they're not for everybody, right? Because sometimes you share your dreams and someone might say to you, that's really stupid. But what I want you to do is do that part of it. And Emma, what's your final nugget of wisdom that you want to leave the good people with today? I say nugget of wisdom, she ended chicken nuggets there.
Oh, I got the hiccups. Be yourself.
Be yourself. All right, y'all. She's just going to exit the stage. Thank y'all so much. If you would like to connect with us, you can scan this QR code because y'all already told yourself that you have phones. You can follow us and you can hear your shout outs on our live podcast. I thank you so much for being a part of this today. I thank you for encouraging Emma. She was nervous, but it's okay, right? Because she's speaking and she's doing something brave. So I hope that she encourages you in being brave to try something new and to make sure you have a trusted and loved one with you that sees you for who you are. But thank you for seeing her. Thank you for encouraging her. And thank you all for being a part of this day.
Did you like it, everybody? Make sure to like and smash that subscribe button or leave a comment. Bye, guys.